Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I hope you're all doing fabulous. I hope you're all choosing to be the versions of yourself that have exactly what you want. I hope that's what you're all doing. If you're new here, how you doing? I'm Kimberly, and yes, I am obsessed with getting what I want and manifestation, consciously manifesting anything and everything I desire. And if you're obsessed with that too, and you can handle this sass, well, why don't you subscribe and come back and see me? And guess what? I will promise you that this kind of a format of a video is not my typical, it's not my typical content. Videos like these I am doing directly. So I won't be able to edit them. Most of my content's edited. Okay. Just saying, when I'm really small on time, we get videos like this. Okay. So we know the drill. If you've been here before, no editing, meaning dog barks, vehicles, all noises will be left in the video. And my screw ups, if I screw up, will be left for your entertainment purposes. Let's jump in. Just saying, if you would like to work with me in any way, shape, or form, if you want to connect with me, all of that information is in the drop box below. Always to connect for coaching, emergency coaching, or my 3 channel memberships, which I encourage you to join the VIP, the Advanced Manifestors group. And we go live together tonight. This is going up on a Tuesday. So the Advanced Manifestors and the Exclusive Lives group, that's the group to join if you want a weekly zhuzh. The Advanced Manifestors is the group to deep dive and expand your awareness on manifestation, all aspects, all perspectives of manifestation. Both channel memberships go live, one right after the other. Is that consecutively? This evening on Tuesdays. Also, I have that hot seat, which is get into the hot seat and ask me anything you want group. And they go live together on Fridays. If you would join the Advanced Manifestors, you have access to all of the channel memberships. Just saying. But all that kind of stuff and my other YouTube channel, Kimberly's Other Life, where to find me on TikTok and Instagram and Clapper, Dropbox below. I'm going to shut up and jump right in. So we're talking today, again, because I put a video up this weekend regarding emotions, not suppressing the emotions, but emotions while manifesting. Emotions, negative emotions, and still being able to successfully manifest. Well, first and foremost, if you're not new to my channel, then you've heard me say a million times, feelings are valid. We are never about suppressing how we're feeling. It's never that. I don't encourage that. I don't do that myself. And I would like to also say, if you can't tell already, especially if you're new, if you just can't tell by the energy I give out, and, obviously it's probably a little easier to gauge my in-person energy on a live stream. But if you haven't gotten it from me already, that I only make content on really what I've experienced myself, what I understand myself, what I've tested myself. I only make content on that. I don't make content on things that I have not successfully done, per se. So just saying, I want you to know that when I suggest you try something, I will probably have already shared my own experience with it. So again, if you're new, I just wanted you to know that. So when I say I don't suppress my emotions, I don't. You see, we are humans, and we are here for the purpose of experiencing our physical 3D reality as humans. So I'm saying that with a tinge of sarcasm because I think some of us might start the journey of manifestation, or perhaps you found me, from a place of maybe originally learning like, oh, you got to be positive, you can't emotionally react and all that kind of stuff. And that's just kind of bullshit. Just kind of bullshit. You are going to have your emotions still. You might have a shitty thought here and there. And honestly, it's really okay. It's the marinating in them we kind of want to break the habit of doing, but not because, oh, that makes you a bad manifester or a failed manifester. No, the idea is coming into the awareness that you are pure, unadulterated consciousness. You are the I am having this experience. Another way to describe that is you are the observer observing this experience. So who you really are is a lot more than just this physical being you have believed you were or are your whole life. So, don't get me wrong. I love knowing I'm Kimberly, this version of Kimberly, but I am aware that I'm actually the observer, though. I'm the observer observing this physical 3D through this manifested being, Kimberly. And the beauty of understanding that, and if you're new and that just seems, what the hell is she talking about? Don't worry about that. If that hasn't clicked with you just yet, it's okay. Think of it from the perspective of you are viewing reality through a filter. And that filter is which version of self you're choosing to be. Most of us find manifestation through the habit of being one of those versions. So we have probably viewed reality from the same or through the same filter our whole life. And because when we are willing to start applying conscious manifestation to our life, not only are we expanding our awareness, but we are willingly saying, I think I'd like a new filter. I'd like to change the filter I'm seeing reality through. I want to see me having all the things I want. Right? So you're watching content because there must be something tingling within you that you want to manifest something, whether it's a specific person, whether it's money, a job, health, or maybe all of it, which is all fine. But what's important to know is, well, there's a version of you that has all of those things. You just need to get that filter in front of your awareness eyeball so that we're viewing reality through that new filter. But when we're having negative emotions, a lot of this is from conditioning, by the way, that we begin to fear that, oh my God, this is going to ruin my manifestation because, I don't know, maybe you've been naturally a negative thinker or you see the worst first in things, which, listen, I understand that's who I used to be. So, accepting the idea that I can just change my whole life, and there were nearly all aspects of my life I wanted to change when I first found this. That seemed amazing to me. That seemed wonderful, but it also seemed a million miles away from me. Nice. It felt way too far away from where I was, where I started. And I understand if that's how you feel too. I used to always be afraid of my emotions. And what I would have said in my early days, I would have said my true thoughts, what my true thoughts are. I don't think this is going to work. I'm afraid I'm not going to successfully manifest my person. I don't think I'm ever going to actually get what I want. I'm afraid I'm always going to be stuck as this version of myself. And back then, I wouldn't even have said version of myself. I would have just said, I think I'm going to be stuck like this. I don't think this one reality is going to change. Because that was my level of understanding in the beginning. So you might be thinking of your negative thoughts, your negative feelings, your negative emotions. You might be seeing them. Hell, we're already labeling them negative, right? So there's a limit we've stacked on it already, which comes from conditioning, which comes from the beliefs that we have taken on throughout our life. But I want this video to really soothe you in the place of you're going to still manifest. You're still going to get what you want. You don't have to be afraid of having emotions the last thing you want to do is suppress them or pretend that you're feeling what you're feeling, or pretend that you're not bothered by something. You don't got to do any of that. I certainly don't. And I have manifested exactly what I've wanted. To be honest, I've manifested everything already that I originally, when I first found manifestation, scripted for. I'm just on to new things. I'm manifesting new things. So the version of myself that I choose every day is different from where I started. So I'm here to tell you that you don't have to be afraid of your emotions. You don't have to be afraid of your thoughts. Now, if you've been around my channel a while, you already know that I say that, and I don't think thought flipping is necessarily a great energy to be in, because it's not only is it exhausting, overwhelming, but it constitutes some fear. We start fearing our thoughts, and that's not what this is about. What I think would be most beneficial is realizing that, number one, negative thoughts, negative emotions, negative feelings, they're always coming from one or two places, where it's either coming from a thought, a belief, or a judgment, a condition, more than likely based in logic, or it's an action, it's a plan, a person, a surrounding. So we can break that down to, thoughts, either a thought or a thought based in a belief, or it's something you're experiencing physically. And really, the only thing, and again, this is only if you feel like you're totally suffering and you're tired of having the negative emotion or the negative feeling. If you're just tired of it and you want freedom from it, well, then that next question is, what am I thinking or believing that I feel this way? What am I listening to? Or what am I doing physically in this? We'll just use an example of, let's say you are in the midst of reading a book and the book has gotten a little bit boring, but you sit there and keep reading the book. You're not happy with it. You're not loving it, but you keep going through it. And the more it's just sapping your energy and you're not enjoying it. And then other thoughts start coming in. Well, what am I doing that now I'm not feeling good? Again, it's kind of a loose type of example, but you get what I'm saying. So from there, we have an action plan of what we can do. It's really, when I said, ask yourself, what are you thinking that you're emotionally responding in that moment? What are you thinking? Can we decide that we're no longer going to focus on that? You see, because the negative feelings, the negative emotions, they're your own internal guidance system going off. It's the body's way of letting you know you are listening or participating, thinking, focusing on something that does not line up with who you want to be. Now, let's use the most common example of manifesting a specific person. If you're manifesting a specific person, then I'm going to make the assumption that what you want with that person is to be in a relationship. So I'm going to then also assume that who you want to be is the version of yourself who's in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with that person. So that's the filter we want to see reality through. That's the viewpoint we want to be viewing reality from. That's the version of you, the self that's experiencing it. So if you're experiencing right now a negative emotion, is it because of a thought or belief? Or are you in the midst of doing something that's causing the emotion? And what can we do about it? What it's not is something to be afraid of. And it's not something to think, oh my God, if I don't stop doing this, I'm going to ruin the rest of my life. No. But I'm not stupid. And I know it doesn't feel good to feel like shit. It doesn't feel good to think thoughts that are shitty. It doesn't feel good. We want to feel good. It just feels good to feel good, doesn't it? Nothing outside of you. And when I say that, I am just referring to your 3D reality. Nothing or no one in 3D reality can force you to feel anything. So let's say you're someone manifesting a specific person, and that person is someone that you already had a relationship with. And they, right now, it appears that they are not wanting to be in the relationship with you that you're manifesting. And maybe you're having a negative emotion or a negative feeling regarding that right now. Their decision to not be in a relationship with you. And it doesn't feel good. And you're letting it out. You're letting the tears out. To me, okay, letting those tears out, that's a healthy response. Let the tears out. Let them flow. Once the tears have stopped, okay. If we still feel like shit, what are we thinking? Again, if you're doing something and it's the, outside physical thing that you're doing that you're not enjoying, okay, then let's stop doing it. So, in other words, most of the time it's because we're thinking a literal logical thought. We're judging the 3D, or, let's just be honest, sometimes we're doing something in reality that we really don't want to do, and we're doing it to make someone else happy. Do you see what I'm saying? No, we want to start becoming our number one priority. We want to start getting into that mindset of loving ourselves. And I know some of you probably automatically just had that thought, well, I don't want to be a selfish bitch. I don't want to be selfish. You're not being selfish. You are a conscious manifester trying to change the reflection in your reality. So in order to change that reflection, we've got to change who's showing up and looking in the mirror, because your reality is the reflection. So if right now you're having a thought, back to that original example, and you're having a thought like, I'm hurt, that specific person doesn't want the relationship with me. What can we do about that? What's making you upset? The thought that specific person doesn't want to be with you, doesn't want to be in that relationship. Yes, that's a hurtful thought. But is that the version of yourself that you really want to be? No, it's not. So we know better. That's why it doesn't feel good. Your body's navigational system is working. It's giving you that red alert. It's letting you know that thought. And by now, the experience of the breakup, the experience of the moment where SP said they didn't want you, that is now a memory. It is not a stone cold hard fact. Yes, a version of you experienced it, but that's not who you're choosing to be anymore. If you're consciously manifesting and you've been doing your manifestation techniques, well, guess what? You are trying, you are moving to that new version of yourself, that new viewpoint. So you're good. Let's return to it. When your body gives you the signal that you're thinking something that is not lining up with who you want to be, your body's letting you know, stop. This thought doesn't belong to you. It belongs to a different version of you, but not you. So you don't have to listen to that thought anymore. You see, you're in charge of what you do with this. Now, that might not instantly make you feel better when you're already down, but why don't you test it while you're watching the video? Force yourself to think a different thought, completely opposite of the thought that was making you feel bad, or whatever you were focused on that was making you feel bad. Force yourself. Demand it right now in this moment. Purple horse. Purple horse. I want you to think of a purple horse. Are you thinking about the purple horse? Purple horse. Think of a purple horse. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to annoy you with it. Purple horse, purple horse, purple horse. Chances are you're thinking of a purple horse. You saw a quick flash. You saw the little picture in your mind. You probably paused in whatever emotion you were having. You probably did. I'm feeling quite sassy and quite confident that it probably paused the shit feeling. Now, you might have that residue, like that leftover feeling of the shit feeling, but it's not as strong as when before I said purple horse. It's diminished a little. Do you see how quickly you can do that? Do you see how just moving your thought, moving your focus and attention and awareness, that the body starts responding? I highly doubt that if you were crying while watching this video, that when I kept saying purple horse, that you were still crying. No, tears might have been flowing a little bit, but I bet you paused. You might have even paused and looked at me through the viewfinder thinking, girl, you are, how many times you could have say it, Kim? Maybe you had that. Maybe that was the next thought. But that viewpoint moved very quickly, but it moved. And that's the power of your mind. So again, this is not a video trying to tell you that you've got to shift yourself immediately and be afraid of your negative thoughts and emotions. Nope, you can manifest anyway. You know what your inner intention is. You know who you're choosing to be. If you are new here, all I mean is you know what you're manifesting. You know that you are consciously deciding to apply conscious manifestation to bring that in the physical 3D to you. So therefore, your focus, your attention is going on you being the you that has it. You know that's your heart's intention. You know that's what you're, if at minimum, that's what you're trying to do, is get your awareness there. That's the bottom line of what is going to matter. Now, you might go logical again and think to yourself, yeah, Kim, but I still have to be that version of myself in order to get it in reality. My darling, if that's your intention to be a certain version of yourself, I promise you that every single thing you experience, every circumstance, everything you experience is molding and shaping and moving you to that version of yourself. I know that might be something hard to accept or believe or trust in this moment, but listen, before I had my whole heart trust and belief in manifestation, and let me just tell you, it didn't come instantly for me, that trust. I had a journey, if you're new to my channel, and I have shared that journey. I had a journey, and I know not everyone wants that journey. Well, then good, skip over the bullshit and get to focusing on who you want to be. That's how you do that. But I didn't have full trust right away either. But I can, now that I have my manifestations, I can tell you that I knew what my inner intention was, and it was always there, what I wanted, the relationship with my person. And I can tell you that reality, from what I experienced, what it felt like until my understanding expanded, was moving, shaping, guiding, and bringing me to exactly what I wanted. You might not understand your 3D, but it's changing. So don't be afraid of your emotions. It's okay to have some negative ones. You got to be the one to give yourself that permission. I've said that before, but think about it. What are you focused on right now? Are you still upset? Are you still crying? Probably not. So on that note, I'll see you tomorrow. Awkward pause until it stops.